This is the ultimate Bangkok shopping mall guide. Bangkok is a shopper's paradise. There are literally over 200 shopping malls right here in Bangkok, and in this video we're going to show you the very best ones. Let's go! So right now we're in the Siam area of Bangkok. You just take the BTS SkyTrain to a stop called Siam. This is where you'll find the biggest cluster of shopping malls all together, and it's super easy to get to. We are going to start this Bangkok shopping mall guide with this one. It's called MBK. You might have heard of it. It's really well known among tourists because it used to sell lots of tech stuff. Let's go inside and check it out.
So basically the reason everyone comes to MBK is the electronic department. Like literally look around, there are so many different electronics items for sale here. You can find phones, cameras, there are so many Apple products for sale here. You can pick up your AirPods if you come down here. They also offer phone repairs, iPad repairs, so it's a great place to come if you're looking for something techie. But of course there is so much more to MBK than just electronics. We've got 7 floors in total here. It's a good place to come and get furniture. It's also a cool place to like rummage through clothes. There are loads of clothes like kind of market style where you have to have a good look through them. And probably my favorite thing about the whole place is there is a really, really good games arcade. Like this is my favorite gaming arcade in all of Bangkok. So on this floor, floor 7, as well as the like totally awesome amusement arcade, you can also find loads of different restaurants. Like there are so many different choices here, you can definitely find something to eat at MBK.
And in the basement you can find lots and lots of clothes shopping, kind of like market style. You can find lots of pirated designer goods here too, which is another thing that MBK is really, really famous for. MBK also has a branch of Don Don Donki, which is a famous Japanese department store. You can basically get everything here, especially groceries and Japanese treats and snacks.
And just outside MBK, you can find this area, like I'm not really sure how to describe it. It's really colorful. It's popular with tourists, like because it's got the Bangkok sign. You can see people just over there taking photos. And we pass through it to get to our next mall. I'll take you there now. This is the next mall we're going to visit today. This is Siam Discovery. It's just a really, really cool mall. It's in like quite a cultural part of Bangkok. It's full of high fashion, Thai designers, and it's just a cool vibe. Let's go check it out. So Siam Discovery is open from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. There's a pretty big range of like shopping options in here, lots of luxurious stuff. The men's department looks really, really good, and there are really high-end places like a Simiyaki, and there are also like a lot of outdoor camping shops as well, and lots of Nike things too, so a bit of an eclectic mix.
So on the ground floor you'll find what I suppose is kind of like the main store. It's kind of like a department store, but also not exactly. There are so many great design touches in this part of Siam Discovery, and everything is very high-end with lots of luxury brands squeezed in. There are also shops on the sides of Siam Discovery, and you'll find more and more the higher up you go. There is a really good loft shop here. They have the North Face, and there's a moleskin shop, as well as plenty of other really, really good shops. You can also find a Starbucks here if you're looking for your next coffee fix. The tech section at this mall is really good, with lots of cameras and other electronic things for sale. On this floor you'll also find a shortcut that goes from Siam Discovery to Siam Center, which is another Bangkok mega mall that we'll talk about soon.
And on the top 2 floors of Siam Discovery, you can find a little food court, a games arcade, and there's even a Madame Tussauds. And from Siam Discovery, you can literally pop just next door to our next amazing Bangkok shopping mall, Siam Center. So I always think of Siam Center as kind of futuristic. It's just really, really trendy, and the lighting is just so good. Like you just really, really feel like you're in the future. There's a really good mix of shops here. We've got some really big international brands like Nike and JD Sports, but there are also lots of Thai designers, like big Thai brands like Pomelo, which is like such a good clothing store, and Lin Around, another Thai clothing store I really, really love. But there are also lots of places for small designers, and the other really cool thing about it here is they often have really, really crazy pop-up things like special events. This is like literally my favorite shop in the entire mall. It sells like just really, really cute stuff, and so much of it has a Thai twist. They even have Moo Deng t-shirts for sale here. So cute.
If you're into Gundam, this is where you need to come. Siam Center has its very own Gundam base. There's also a really, really big Gundam statue just outside the shopping mall. If I could sum up Siam Center with just one category, I'd have to say clothes. This place is full to the brim with clothing shops with lots and lots of sportswear on offer too. There are so many cool Thai brands, like it's a great place to stop in if you're looking for a full outfit. And don't worry, you can even get a pair of elephant pants and a matching top from here too.
As for dining, you will find all of the food right here on the top floor of Siam Center. It's an absolutely stunning space. Like, there are huge skylights, the whole place is so airy and beautiful, and you've got a huge range of things to eat. Like, you can go to a traditional food court if you like, get some Thai food. There are also a few Western things available here, and there are lots of different restaurants all lining the side of the food court as well. The other really cool thing about the top floor is there's like kind of a sneaky shortcut to go back over to the Siam Discovery.
Siam Paragon and Siam Center are literally right opposite each other. All you have to do is just cross this walkway, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Let's go check out Siam Paragon. Siam Paragon is another good shopping mall right here in the big shopping area of Bangkok. It is so fancy. You can find lots of high-end restaurants, there's luxury shopping, and the department store is really, really good. Let's go in and check it out. The moment you enter Siam Paragon, you're greeted with luxury shopping. They keep most of the fanciest shops on this floor, so expect to see lots of really, really big name brands. I'm talking Versace, I'm talking Gucci, you know, like the really, really high-end stuff. If you're looking for more high street style shops, you might want to try exploring the other floors. I assure you they are all there. I always think that Siam Paragon has a particularly good branch of H&M and a really good Zara as well, so like make sure you go and check them out.
Siam Paragon is known for being ultra luxurious, so it's no surprise that you find all of the big high-end brands here. Like, wow. There are so many different dining options here at Siam Paragon. If you're looking for something a little bit fancy, well, you've definitely come to the right place. This mall is known for being really, really luxurious. There are so many amazing 5-star looking restaurants down this end of the mall, and just down the other end you'll find a food court. I really recommend it. Like, there are so many different choices there. It is like one of the best food courts in my opinion.
There are loads of different Thai food options here, and it has a bit of like a kind of street food vibe, particularly because of the way the whole space has been decorated. You can also find lots of different Western fast food here too, like McDonald's, Burger King, KFC, and Taco Bell. Right next to the food court is a supermarket which is called Gourmet Food Mart. It's actually a pretty good supermarket. It is quite expensive, but it does have really nice produce. And if you take the escalator down from the food court, you'll end up at Sea Life Aquarium. The whole idea of an aquarium in the basement of a mall is pretty crazy, and it's actually quite a good aquarium. You can buy a ticket right here using this QR code.
Nothing means luxury like expensive cars, and let's just say Siam Paragon has got this one down pat. There are Porsche shops, Maserati shops, Aston Martin shops, like basically every brand of luxury car you can think of. There's a showroom right here in the mall.
And if you prefer motorbikes, there's also a Harley Davidson store right here in the mall.
Siam Paragon also has its own department store, which I thoroughly recommend. It is really, really good. Everything is really clearly split into sections. Like, we've got men's, women's, kids, toys, like, you know the type. And there's also just a really, really good mix of labels here. It is a luxurious mall, so there are lots of high-end things, but we've also got some more normal brands like Nike and Adidas. You just have to have a look around, but really, there is something for everyone. It's an excellent, excellent department store.
The Siam Paragon department store even has high street shops like Zara and H&M kind of squeezed against the edges. I really recommend the sports department too. That one's really, really good. And you can also find some really, really lovely homeware here as well.
And when you come to the top floor of Siam Paragon, that's exactly where you're going to find the cinema. I really recommend the cinema. It's a really, really good one. And you can also find a bowling alley up here too. You've also got the option of a VIP cinema. It definitely costs a little bit extra, but you get to literally lie down in a bed and you have the option of being served wine in the cinema. And just opposite Siam Paragon, we've got our next mega mall. This is Siam Square One. I always think this is like the only mall of this style here in Bangkok. It's got a really good outdoor-indoor flow. Like, the shops as individuals are inside, but collectively the space is all outside. I'll show you around so you can see exactly what I mean.
On the lower floors of this mall is where you'll find most of the shopping. There's a place called the Fashion Zone, and that's where you'll find loads of women's clothes and accessories, as well as some sports shops. On the higher floors, you'll find lots of different food options. Like seriously, this is a great place if you're into food, especially proper restaurants. There are loads of different sit-down restaurants here, and some of them are seriously cute. If you go even higher, you'll find loads of beauty clinics. This place is absolutely full of them.
Siam Square One is a really cool mall in itself, and it's really well known for cafes, cool fashion, and just having lots and lots of cute stuff. The area surrounding it is awesome as well. It's sort of known as like Little Korea. It's a really Korean-based area in Bangkok. It's got so many cool shops, just an awesome vibe. It's actually one of my favorite places to visit in Bangkok. It literally makes you feel like you're in Korea.
In this area, tucked up against Siam Square One, you can often find a market. This is a really good place to visit for clothes shopping, and there's also lots of different street food on offer too.
And from Siam Square One, we're going to take the skywalk all the way down to our next mega shopping mall, and this one is mega. It is literally the 9th biggest shopping mall in the entire world. We're going to CentralWorld. Welcome to CentralWorld. This is literally the 9th biggest shopping mall in the entire world. I'm pretty sure it's the biggest in Southeast Asia, and like honestly, are you surprised? Like I can't even get this in one shot. It's absolutely enormous. As you'd imagine, being the 9th biggest shopping mall in the world has a lot of benefits, so this mall comes with a lot of flagship stores. There is the biggest H&M in Asia, I believe. If not Asia, it's Southeast Asia. There is also the very first Shake Shack in Thailand, the very first Cheesecake Factory in Thailand, yum, yum, yum. And there is also the very first Apple store here in Thailand. There are actually 2 Apple stores in Thailand. I'll show you the other one later on, but the very first one was right here in CentralWorld, and I think it's also the biggest one in Asia.
CentralWorld is huge. The scale of this place is unreal and kind of hard to understand until you see it in person. It literally has over 500 stores, so it's a brilliant place to come and do your shopping.
On the very top floor of CentralWorld, this is where you're going to find your dining options. As well as the supermarket, you'll find a pretty good food court. This place has loads of different choices, like a lot of different Thai food for good prices, and there are even some different Michelin-starred restaurants squeezed in here too. And if you're not in the mood for a food court, that's okay too. There are loads and loads of different dining options, especially on the top floor and the floor just below that.
Also on the top floor, you can find Tops, which is one of the big supermarket chains in Thailand. You can get a really good range of local and imported food here. And just next to the supermarket is where you can find the cinema.
Now we're going to go and check out one of the newest additions to CentralWorld. Basically, they decided to add like a whole bunch of different Japanese restaurants and shops all to one area. It is very, very cool. Like you literally almost feel like you're in Japan. There are so many different awesome restaurants to choose from, but my favorite thing of all, they've got a huge branch of my favorite bookshop of all time, straight out of Japan, Kinokuniya. If you love reading, you need to go and check it out. And as if it needed anything else, CentralWorld also has its very own ice skating rink right in the middle of the mall. CentralWorld also has its very own department store known as Central. This one is the entire height of the building, a full 7 floors, I believe, and it's really good. Like, it's all really, really well sorted into men's, women's, children's, accessories, shoes. You know what department stores are like. You can find some really good deals in here, and they also have designer stuff if that's your thing. So it seems pretty quiet here right now, but trust me, this place absolutely goes off on Friday and Saturday nights. This is called The Groove. It's basically a selection of restaurants and bars, mostly bars, all gathered around a courtyard that is attached to CentralWorld. It's actually a really, really cool place. I really enjoy coming here. Like, my biggest advice for coming here is get here early. When it goes off, it really, really goes off, and it fills up pretty quickly.
Just a 5-minute walk from CentralWorld is one of my favourite Bangkok shopping malls, Platinum Mall. Not a lot of tourists know about this one, but it is seriously an amazing place to shop. The best way to describe this place would be that it's kind of like a market, but inside. So just imagine, like something that is completely jam-packed to the brim with clothes, but it's air-conned. It is so, so good. There is also a food court here and just so many clothes for absolutely amazing prices. It's one of my favorite places to shop in Bangkok. You definitely need to come and check out Platinum Mall, but I completely recommend coming in the morning. It gets really busy in the afternoon. Definitely worth it though. Like, the clothes are so good and the prices are even better. Another thing I love about Platinum Mall is it's not just women's stuff they have here. They actually have a whole floor dedicated to men's clothes, which I know are sometimes quite tricky to find in Thailand. They also have loads and loads of different accessories for sale, like you can get sunglasses, hair accessories, seriously everything. I could not recommend Platinum Mall anymore. It is so good for shopping in Bangkok. Time for our next mega shopping mall. This one is called Gaysorn Tower or Gaysorn Village. It's another mall you can get to really easily via the skywalk. This mall isn't the most busy one on today's list, but it is super fancy. It even has its very own baby piano shop. You can't really get much fancier than that. There are loads and loads of clothing shops here, and they are very high end. There are several floors here, and yeah, I'd say that they're like mostly full of clothing stores. This place is really high end, super fancy, so as well as restaurants, you'll also find wine bars in here. Gaysorn Tower kind of splits into like a different part of the mall, and all of the architecture changes. You can find some very fancy restaurants here too, and a few more high-end clothing stores. Right off the skywalk, you'll find our next shopping mall, the Gaysorn Amarin. So this shopping mall, which was originally called the Amarin Plaza, I think, opened in the mid-90s, and then it rebranded and it was completely renovated, I think in 2024, as the Gaysorn Amarin. Let's go inside and check it out. Like I said, this mall was renovated very recently, and you can really tell. Everything looks so new and it's been so beautifully designed, especially the big atrium that you'll see almost as soon as you enter the shopping mall. As you can see, this is a very luxurious mall. The whole thing is so fancy. At the moment, they have this incredible display with a giant carousel. You can even ride on it. It is so cool and so fancy. As for the rest of the mall, there's loads of great shopping. You can find loads of cool clothes here, and again, there are lots of Thai designers featured too, which is very cool. There is a good section of men's clothing too, and I find the whole thing is almost like a really upscale department store. It's all just so well laid out. There are quite a few dining options here too, and they're mostly on the ground floor. But the really special thing about Gaysorn Amarin is standing right behind me. It has a Louis Vuitton cafe. Next up, we're visiting Central Chidlom. This is like literally the first ever central department store in Thailand, which if you've been to Thailand, it's a really big deal. They're literally everywhere. Let's go inside and check it out. This mall has been recently renovated and like, wow, it's seriously flash. So it's kind of a bit like a department store with lots of clothes, like seriously a lot. And there are some fancier shops too, all around the sides. It might not be the cheapest mall in Bangkok, but it sure has some cool designer stuff in stock. It has lots of dining options when you cross between this mall, Central Chidlom, and its neighbour, Central Embassy, which we'll talk about more in just a moment. There are some really cool high-end restaurants in here too, with lots of different cuisine types on offer. And if you keep going, you'll end up at our next mega mall, Central Embassy. Central Embassy is what I think of as like the fanciest mall here in Bangkok. There are all kinds of high-end brands here, international and Thai. Let's go inside and check it out. You're seriously going to be wowed the moment you enter Central Embassy. It's a light and bright space with lots of beautifully designed escalators leading you to more and more floors filled with shops. There's almost a like futuristic look to this mall. It's just such a clean design. There are so many big designer brands here, and you'll find them on most of the floors. There are so many fancy brands here. If you love luxury shopping, then this is absolutely where you need to come. This really popular shopping area in Bangkok is called the M District. Your nearest BTS SkyTrain stop is called Phrom Phong. This mall, the one we're going to first, is called Emquartier. It's one of the most popular malls in Bangkok. It even has its very own waterfall. Let's go inside and take a look around. The mall itself has a very open feel with loads of windows, and it kind of looks down to like a jungly bit in the middle. Emquartier has really good shopping options with a good mix of designer and high street shops like Muji or H&M. Downstairs in the basement, you'll find the main food court. I'll tell you more about the other dining options in a moment, but this is where you can find most of the food court style food. There's a good mix of Thai food and Western options too. Pretty much the entire Emquartier basement is like a giant food court.
So the main Emquartier building is connected to another part, the Helix, by these walkways. And just over there is where you'll find the waterfall. It's so cool. Just down here is the Helix. That's where you'll find the most amazing dining options. Let's go take a look. There are lots of floors of shops in the Helix, and overall it has a very fancy vibe. The higher up you go is where you'll find loads of restaurants, some of them very upscale, and the overall layout changes into a very cool spiral shape. There are literally 4 solid floors of restaurants here. It is so good. Literally every type of cuisine you can think of is right here at Emquartier. And because the restaurants are so high, you get the most amazing Bangkok city views. The whole place looks absolutely amazing right now. Emquartier really know what they're doing.
In M District, it's really handy. There's this big walkways that connects all of the malls together. It's all lined with trees, it's really pretty, and we're going to follow it to get to our next shopping mall, EmSphere. This is Bangkok's newest mega mall. It's called EmSphere. I think it opened in 2024. Let's go and check it out. They always have loads and loads of really cool displays here, like this one. It's so cool. The mall itself is very new and very cool looking. There are enormous windows lining the walls, so you get some great views of central Bangkok. There's quite a modern feel inside and lots of digital stuff going on too, which is really cool. There's a really good mix of shops here too, and I personally really love Daddy and the Muscle Academy and another shop called Frank. So possibly the coolest thing about EmSphere is it has its very own IKEA. There are actually 3 IKEAs in Bangkok, but this is the only one in the central city. I think it's one of the only IKEAs in Asia that's in the central city actually, so you can come into town and get all of your furniture shopping done or eat some yummy IKEA cooking. Oh, and don't worry, they do those infamous Swedish meatballs. In the basement, you'll find most of the food options. There are so many choices here, and they're all really good. There are sometimes pop-up markets in the middle of this mall, and there are also just loads of restaurants too, including Gordon Ramsay. Our favorite here is this pizza restaurant called Panetti Pizza. It's really good. I definitely recommend it if you're looking for pizza in the middle of Bangkok. EmSphere even has its own concert space called the UOB Live Hall. They bring international performers here. We've been to concerts here and it's actually a really great space. It has all of the usual concert pyrotechnics, which is great, and it's right in the middle of the city, which is even better. Emporium is another of the malls here in the M District. It's basically just full of really luxury shops. I'm talking proper luxury. I'm talking big designer brands. It also has a big department store inside. You can usually find really cool clothes or outfit inspiration here. Emporium was built in 1997 by the same group who designed Siam Paragon. I always think you can see a few similarities between the two malls. Like many malls in Bangkok, Emporium is full of designer stores, and you'll notice them from the moment you enter the shopping mall. The next mall we're going to visit is right behind me. It's called Terminal 21 and it's pretty unique. It's in the Arsok area of Bangkok, which is pretty touristy. Let's go inside and check it out. When you first enter Terminal 21, you're going to see this enormous escalator. I think it goes up 4 or 5 floors. It's absolutely huge. So the really cool thing about Terminal 21 is the whole thing is airport travel themed. There are little airport touches all over the entire mall, and every floor has a different country theme. There's Japan, England, and more. And there's such an eye for detail. Don't worry, we'll have a look at some of the different floors now. The eye for detail was unreal. There was so much classic London stuff, from post boxes to royal guards, and it was all so well integrated with the shops. Seriously, there was so much detail everywhere you looked. It even has its very own double-decker bus on this floor. Crazy. And it has its own red telephone booth. Another of the floors is Moroccan themed, and it's so cool the way they've really integrated all of the details into the shops. So one of the reasons you've probably heard of Terminal 21 is because of the food court. It's really good, cheap, and popular with YouTubers. There are really good food choices here, but my favorite is a restaurant called Sunrise Tacos. It does really good Mexican food. Another good thing about the food court, you get an awesome view of the Golden Gate Bridge. We're talking about the best shopping malls in Bangkok, so of course we had to mention ICONSIAM. This Bangkok shopping mall literally cost over 54 billion baht, which is about 1.5 billion US dollars. So obviously you're going to expect good things from this mall. ICONSIAM is by the same people who made Siam Paragon, if you couldn't tell from the name, and it's also where you can find one of Bangkok's Apple stores, as well as lots of luxury car shops. There are so many things to love about ICONSIAM: the amazing overall look, the range of shops, the fact it has the biggest Starbucks in Thailand, I think, but my favourite thing of all is Suk Siam. Like, when you take the escalator down to the mall's basement, you'll find an incredible floating market inside. It's full of little rivers and Thai-style buildings. It's just such a cool experience. And of course, it's Thailand, so you can find really, really good street food here too, including my favourite, mango sticky rice. Yum!
And that's about all the shopping malls. Remember to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one.